election results. This will be quick, and we have a certificate to give to two individuals who were successful in their running for election. So this is declaration number 2019-02. It's a declaration of the Cottonwood Heights Board of Canvassers approving the canvass of the 2019 Cottonwood Heights municipal election. First in City Council District 1, this is a four-year term, and the results of the election are Douglas Peterson, SEN, 1,057 votes, representing 52.27%, and Deborah Case, 965, representing 47.73%. The other election was Cottonwood Heights Council District 2, where we have Mr. Scott Bracken, 900 votes, representing 57.51%, and Tim Halbeck, 665 votes, representing 42.49%. Any questions from the council on that canvass report?
I would just say I appreciate the county clerk for handling this, their process they have. The vote by mail is very thorough, and there's always good things to, I was looking at this next page, how much effort they put to make sure that each ballot comes in, is properly signed, and gets counted.
Yeah, and that information is available. It talks about out of the 3,000 votes, was like 18 that the signatures didn't match. So that's a pretty thorough process, and that information is available if anyone would like to see it. Any further questions on the canvass? Hearing none, I'd call for a vote to approve the canvass, or the resolution, I should say.
I move that we approve.
It's been moved by Councilman Shelton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Bruce. Any further questions? Hearing none, I'd call for the vote. Councilman Michael.
Yes.
Councilman Bruce.
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Any further discussion on the canvass? Before we adjourn, I'd like to present a certificate to Mr. Doug Peterson, council member to be. If you'll come on up, Doug, and Scott Bracken.
Yeah.
Well, good-looking daughter of yours. Come on up. Show that picture. You got a picture of him? You have a good night? You all right? All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Scott, who's yours? Okay. Now, the swearing in of those two individuals will be the 1st of January, but I also want to take a moment to recognize Deborah Case, who is here, and we appreciate anyone who will spend the time, energy, money to run a campaign. And someone who's done it, I know how hard that is. So thank you for your willingness to participate and run. And Tim's not here today, but we want to recognize him as well. So thank you. With that being said, I entertain a motion to adjourn the canvass meeting.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned.
Well, I seconded that.
You seconded? Somebody did. Okay, it's,
About three.
we got about 3 minutes, and we'll begin our business meeting, so. We probably should also recognize Dan Mozaleski, who was also elected. Dan, you want to step in? This is unofficial, but I think the council should know that Dan was elected to be a member of the Board of Trustees of the Cottonwood Heights Parks and Recreation Service Area. How many years did you work there? 17 years employed there, and what's your bachelor's in?
People laugh, leisure services management,
Or you,
combat weaving, and bowling.
so he has appropriate background, yeah, so congratulations. Yeah. Okay, we're going to set a new precedent. So Doug, remember this. We start right on time at 7 p.m. So we'll call to order the City of Cottonwood Heights. This is our business meeting for Tuesday, November 19th, 2019. It's 7 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll ask Councilmember Bruce if you'd please lead us in the pledge. Thank you, Council Member. We have an acknowledgement. We have a new police officer. So, Chief Robbie Russo, will you please introduce him? And if he has a significant other with him, please bring her up as well. Because typically, they make you look good.
Normally, I learn never to stand next to tall, skinny people. So, but in this case, we hired another big one. This is Kelly Taylor and his lovely wife. I'll let him tell you about himself. But we got him from Motor Vehicle Division. They spent a substantial amount of time up in Weber County. We like everything about him. He's a good fit for us. He sort of emulates all the traits that are good and important about Cottonwood Heights Police Department. And the only problem we found was in his background, neglected to let me know that he was not a Utah fan.
Yeah, he told me that in a personal meeting when he stopped my office, yeah.
Yeah, I found out after we brought him off FTO, but it was unfortunate. Anyway, with that, congratulations. We're lucky to have you and welcome. And that is for you. Just go straight in. Go.
2 trained paramedics here just in case.
With that, they just want you to.
Officer Taylor, just maybe introduce yourself and have her stand right next to you. And
My name's Kelly Taylor, like the chief said. This is my sweetheart, Sydney. We're a blended family. We have 6 kids. Like chief said, I've got a little bit of experience in law enforcement, about 17 years. I'm excited to work here. I know Officer Tracy Harper, who actually just retired from here. He actually taught me in the academy. And I also worked with Sergeant now, Jeremy Nelson, up in the Ogden area. So I've known Jeremy for quite a few years, and he was the one that kind of gave me a little push that you guys were looking for some good officers, and I'm excited to be here. I've met a lot of citizens and have had a lot of fun working here. I know that this job is not ideal right now because of the stipulations that we have, but I know that if you follow the golden rule and treat people with respect, that you're going to get more than, you're going to get more with sugar than you are with salt. And if we can leave at the end of the day with people maybe having a better understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it, whether it's with a ticket or maybe just a friendly conversation, that we can be better off. Do you, Mayor, Council, do you guys have any other questions for me?
no, just we want to make a commitment to you and especially your sweetheart that we hope to send him home to you every night safe. And so we're very supportive of our public safety department and try and give them all the tools and the proper leadership so that we do return him home to you safely each night. It's important to us as a community as well. So thank you for your willingness to serve, and thank you for choosing Cottonwood Heights.
I
you
think
won't
we need
regret
to
it.
know, is he a Weber State fan?
What's that?
His allegiance. If it's not the U, who is it?
I am a BYU fan.
Just wanted to be clear.
But I do cheer. I will cheer for the U. So
It's all right. We have balance in everything we do. We're very diversified. Yeah.
And some of us have to balance pretty hard.
Anyway, congratulations and welcome. We hope to see you around. And please, when you see us, any of the council members, come right up, introduce yourself. That's a great thing about small government or municipalities is you get to know the council and the mayor and personally. So, welcome.
for sure. Thank you very much.
Take care. All right, we now move to citizen comments. I have one speaker comment card. If you would like to speak, you can pick one up over there and just fill it out and hand it to me, and we'll call you up. But the one I have right now is Rex Leatham. Welcome back, Rex. You want to come up and speak?
I'm like your reoccurring nightmare, aren't I?
No, glad to have you.
For those of you in the audience and people listening at home, my name is Rex Leatham. I was a victim of a rainstorm on August 8th, and my basement was flooded with over $100,000 worth of damages. And so I'm here, again, just trying to get things on record. I'd like to thank you for all letting me talk. Mr. Mayor, you probably remember a meeting we had on October 8th where I met with you and Mr. Tingy. And we got to sit down and talk about things one-on-one. And you spent a lot of time explaining to me how the city has to rely on your insurer to base determinations on what liability claims get paid and so on. Do you recall that meeting?
Basically, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I also received a letter from Travelers answering a bunch of questions that I had submitted pertaining to the process and how one goes about getting a claim paid and so on. And they basically reiterated the fact that the city cannot insert itself into claims and that it's their it's their judgment on to what claims will be paid. The question I have, and then also Fox News 13 filed a grammar request to the city to see how many claims and who they were had been filed as a result of that rainstorm. There were 3 claims filed, mine, the Argus residence, and the McIntyre residence. So you're probably very familiar with all 3 of those. The question that I have is, Mr. Siegfried, who owns the home where the sinkhole occurred due to the break in Cottonwood Heights pipe, his property was repaired. And you filled in the hole, you put in the grass, you repaired the fence, you did everything. And he didn't even file a claim. So when I get denied for my claim based on city immunity, which, by the way, is a real thing. You guys knew from day one that you were going to claim either act of God or immunity. Why my claim for over $100,000 wasn't paid? It was denied on the basis of city immunity. How am I supposed to not feel like there was preference made to Mr. Siegfried, who happens to be one half of Siegfried and Jensen, the attorney firm, when their claim was paid in full, or their property was repaired in full, but they didn't even have to file a claim? It looks like preference. Would you agree?
No, I would not agree. I don't think there's any personal preference, and I won't want to get into it here. I gladly meet with you again. I don't remember them filing a claim for whatever repairs we made with respect to a storm drain in that area, but if you'd like to meet with us again, I'm willing to do it. I know I've met with you 2 or 3 times. I know Tim has, but again, just like I shared with you before, the reason I have auto insurance on my vehicle, because I don't know what type of accident I'm going to get into. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a professional, so I rely on that expertise to guide us, and that's why we have insurance through Utah Local Trust. It's the same insurance that 200 plus other cities in the state have, that same insurance. They advise us, they counsel us. If you'd
No,
like
they
to-
just deny claims based on immunity. I would love to meet with you, but I know the immunity issue is a hard one to overcome. I've done a lot of research, I've talked to some attorneys, and you guys are hiding behind immunity. And there was preferential payment made to one person out of 4 who had damages. And that person didn't even have to file a claim. So I want to go on record as saying that there was preference paid. And I don't know how you guys sleep at
Okay,
night.
your time is up. We appreciate your comment. Come back again. I'll still meet with you again. And if
I'm still out $100,000. You know that.
what you represent, thank you. Any other comments from the citizens who would like to address the council? Hearing none, we'll close citizen comment time, and now we'll, yeah, sure, I did once, but I can do it again. Just reminded that we have an opportunity for people to fill out a speaker's comment card. If you haven't, come up anyway. There you go. Wow. Just pull that microphone right to you. Yeah. Go ahead. Thank you.
My name is Kathy Howell, and I'm here wondering about dog parks.
Sure.
Hopefully, on getting one created, or 2 or 3 or 4. The physical and mental health benefits of the human companion animal bond have been amply documented. The benefits of an off-leash play area to humans, their dogs, and the community has also been amply documented. The creation of a dog park has been in the master plan of the city of Cottonwood Heights for years, yet we have no dog park. Isn't it time to move ahead to prepare an off-leash dog park for the citizens of Cottonwood Heights, their dogs, to develop new friendship bonds with community, recreate, and socialize? Thank you.
Thank you. You would have enjoyed the conversation about an hour ago because there was an active conversation about dog parks, and there are some things that are proceeding. And catch one of us after, or leave your name, and we can contact you. And maybe what we'll do, if it's okay, if you'll leave a comment card, I'll have a member of staff to call you and let you know what the current status is. If that's okay, Tim? Yeah. Anyone else in the audience who would like to speak to the council on any subject? Okay. Hearing none, we'll now move to a public comment period on a parking ordinance amendment. And I introduce the subject. We'll turn it over to our Community Economic Development Director, Mike Johnson, on tandem parking.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a city-initiated ordinance amendment to the city's parking, the chapter of the zoning ordinance that regulates parking, particularly off-street parking, so parking for homes, new developments, etc. The background of this proposed amendment involves something that we're referring to as tandem parking. That's a parking configuration where you have a garage or a parking stall that is one car wide but 2 cars deep, and the ability to count that as 2 parking stalls against the city's ordinance requirements for parking on any development project. We had a recent development project on Fort Union approved by the Planning Commission that utilized this parking approach. There were some concerns, but given that the use itself was a permitted use and that our current parking ordinance does not specifically reference tandem parking or add any restrictions to it, that was a permitted method with which to meet their parking standard for that development. And the city had limited authority to oppose any conditions or mitigations to that.
Mr. John, just so that we're clear, we did not prohibit it, as opposed to calling it out that it was permitted. It was something that had never been addressed in our code.
Yes, that's correct.
Which made it permitted.
Correct. So our proposal is to define what tandem parking is and add some regulation to it in an amendment to this parking ordinance. The gist of this proposal is defining tandem parking as a stall that's front back. It's 2 cars deep, 1 car wide. We're not prohibiting actually building tandem parking stalls, but we are limiting the number of stalls that can count towards development's parking requirement. So if you have a tandem parking stall, that could then only apply as 1 stall towards the parking requirement. The language in this ordinance right now provides an exception for single-family residences. If in the future, I know there was a lot of talk about parking for accessory dwelling units. If an ordinance like that were to be brought forward again, that ordinance could certainly add more specific parking regulations. So this does not prohibit stricter requirements elsewhere in the code for specific circumstances, but this at least does define tandem parking and allows us to limit or mitigate the potential negative impacts of tandem parking in multifamily and commercial developments. This has been through the Planning Commission. It received unanimous recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission. Given that it's a legislative item, it's now here for public comment and will come back for action at the next meeting.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions of Mike from the council prior to taking public comments? I know we were briefed in the work session. Hearing none, we'll open up the public comment period. So if anyone in the audience would like to speak to the proposed tandem parking legislation, any comments? Hearing none, we'll close public comments and move forward to our action items on tonight's agenda. The first item on our action items is 5.1. It's consideration of Resolution 2019-69. It's approving entry into 2018 JAG, which stands for Juvenile.
Justice Assistance Grant.
That is what it is? Yeah, okay. Anyway, Robbie, you want to tell us what it is real quick? I think it's just under $6,000.
Right. Both resolution 2019-69 and 70 deal with forfeited drug funds that have been sent to the state of Utah under the control of CCJJ. Municipalities and police departments make application for use of that money we did so and were awarded 2 grants. One was for attendance to a national conference. The second was for specialized training for detectives specific to the dark web crimes. And we were awarded both those grants, and we would ask for your approval of accepting those grants.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. So that's Resolution 2019-69. Any further questions on that resolution? Hearing none, I'd call for a motion for approval.
I move that we approve Resolution 2019-69 and express thanks to our police administration for pursuing.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Shelton. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd call for the vote. Councilman Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken.
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce.
Yes.
Councilmember Michael.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Next item is Resolution 2019-70. It's approving entry into a 2020 state asset forfeiture grant agreement for $2,500. Is that the same explanation, Robbie?
Yes, sir, it's the same.
All right. I've known it as drug forfeiture money, but it's asset forfeiture money
From drug.
from drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any further questions on that resolution, 2019-70? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
I move that we approve Resolution 2019-70.
It's been moved by Councilmember Shelton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Bracken. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. Councilmember Bruce.
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken.
Yes.
Councilmember Michael.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. The next item is 5.3. It's a resolution approving entry into an amendment, which is number 1 of a restated interlocal cooperation agreement with Salt Lake County for $2 million in transportation funding. It's some budget line item adjustments. So Matt, you just want to explain that quickly?
Yeah, what this, Mayor and Council, what this is the, we originally received from the Senate Bill 277, it's called, $2 million for projects throughout the city. When we made that application, when we received that grant, or that money, I apologize, we had to line item where we were, what projects we were going to do, and had to give an estimate on cost. We've done a majority of those projects, and we have actual cost, and so we're reallocating the funds to the various projects to match those that we've spent the money on. And it's not changing the $2 million, it's just changing the amount in the line item. And it was already been approved by the county council for this amendment, and we're asking the council to approve it.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any further questions from the council regarding this amendment? Hearing none, I'd call for a motion for approval.
I move that we approve Resolution 2019-71.
Been moved by Councilmember Bruce. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Councilmember Bracken. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd call for a vote. Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Councilmember Michael?
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce?
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. All right, the next item is consideration of Resolution 2019-72. It's approving an updated affordable housing plan. Mike, you want to introduce that quickly?
Yeah, we presented in depth at the last meeting. This is a state mandated update to the affordable housing element of the general plan. There were some additional items we needed to include in our affordable housing plan that was previously adopted in 2017. So this plan makes those adjustments, adds the necessary things, and like I said, has to be submitted to the state by December 1st.
And appreciate the adjustments in some of the language from our previous meeting as well. Thank you. Any questions from the council regarding this resolution? Hearing none, I'd call for motion for approval.
I move that we approve Resolution 2019-72.
It's been moved by Councilmember Michael. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Bruce. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd call for a vote. Councilmember Bracken.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce.
Yes.
Councilmember Michael.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Our last action item before the consent calendar is consideration of Resolution 2019-73, approving an agreement for engineering services for the East Jordan Canal Trail. Someone introduce that? I mean, I can explain it, but go ahead. Matt, you want to do it?
I certainly can.
You'd be excellent at doing it. I'm excited about this.
Me too. Mayor and council, this is, as you'll recall, during the budgeting process this year, we discussed the East Jordan Canal. And this is the portion of the canal that is covered, that is comes off of Fort Union on the north side of Mount View Park and goes down to the tennis courts. So there's a section of this canal that is covered. We are looking to put a trail on top of that. We've received permission from Salt Lake City Public Utilities, which operates that canal. And what we have in front of us now is we're getting the design completed. Gilson Engineering came forward with the low cost to design that. So we're recommending that we approve this agreement so we can move forward. We hope to have this bid out at the end of January because we need to have it built by the end of May.
Yeah, and I think another important part of the process will be that we'll be meeting with the residents of that
Correct.
area as well.
Correct, yes. Yeah. I apologize. Yes, we will.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any further discussion on this resolution?
I think it's a great amenity to allow people, anyone who's traveling that northeast direction to there, to be able to get off of Fort Union and use the trail and past the park.
I
Okay.
concur with what
All right.
Scott said.
All right, thank you. All right, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
I move that we approve Resolution 2019-73.
It's been moved by Councilman Shelton. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Bruce. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd call for a vote. Councilmember Michael.
Yes.
Councilmember Bruce.
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Okay, the last item is we have minutes of our October 15th, 2019 that we need approval. I'd entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
It's been moved by Councilmember Shelton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Michael. Any further discussion?
I didn't feel appropriate to make a motion or a second on that one, considering that I was absent.
Okay.
When I started to read the minutes, I was like, I don't
You were not there.
like, oh, I was gone.
All right, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's passed. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's moved, adjourn. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
And we are finished, correct?